But in an inclusive society that is God-fearing and God-believing, I think it's possible to overcome all evil.
I believe, let me make a quick statement here. I believe that there are many white people who would say the same thing that Mr. Hannity has said, as long as black people are willing to follow the rules, the regulations, and the laws that white people have already set up. As long as we're willing to go along with what's been going on, then white people will get along with us fairly well. But when we stand up and express self-determination, as one of the Supreme Court justices, Thurgood Marshall, who was with the Supreme Court, said, he said the Ku Klux Klan no longer wears just white sheets. He said they now wear blue uniforms and black robes. So he even felt racism high up in the Supreme Court. We find this all over. The last point here, reverse racism. We keep hearing that on the program.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is able to come into your home and kick the door down with their weapons in their hand, rob everybody in the house and rape everybody in the house, and on their way out of the door, you trick them down and take their gun from them and put their gun to their head, does that make you a reverse robber and a reverse rapist? If the slave is able to take the whip from the slave master and start beating the slave master with his own whip that he's been beating him with for 400 years, does that make the slave now a reverse slave master? It's ridiculous.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Peter, thank you so much for your call this afternoon. Opens up a line, 830-2277. Toll free this morning if you're on Cellular 1. It's star 770. Abdul Muhammad, National Assistant to Minister Louis Farrakhan in the Nation of Islam. And we're taking your telephone calls this afternoon. When lines are available, we'll let you know. Let's go right back to the phones. We'll check in next. Tim from Athens, first-time caller. You're live on AM 770 in the Sean Hannity program. Good morning.
Hey, Sean. I appreciate you letting me speak today.
Appreciate you being on the program. Thank you.
You are the voice of Alabama. Mr. Muhammad seems to be the voice of two black people.
Yes, sir. I wish I was the voice to good and decent Americans, regardless of the color of their skin.
Well, there's a lot of decent Americans out here listening to what you have to say, and they hear what he says, too, and we can tell who the real hate group really is. I haven't heard of anything but animosity coming from Mr. Muhammad, stirring up animosity among white people. I just was wondering, you know, he said he's going to be at the Civic Center today. I wonder if the Ku Klux Klan was to try to get a meeting there at the Civic Center. I wonder if they'd be able to do that. It seems that David Duke, Pat Buchanan, everywhere they go, they get smear campaigns, riots, protesting.
Don't you think David Duke, though, is a Nazi? Don't you think the Ku Klux Klan is evil?
I think that Muhammad is speaking evil towards
He asked you a question about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan.
Answer the question.
He asked you a question about David Duke and the Klan.
I do not think Mr. Duke is evil. I think he has a lot of good...
Mr. Duke won 65% of the white church-going Protestant vote in his state.
He does have a
He's not standing alone.
And he gets smeared everywhere he goes.
Also got creamed.
65% of the white Protestant church-going vote is not a smear, sir.
Also got creamed nationwide at the most 7% in the primaries he got for president. Bottom line is, I think both extremes are being talked about here today. I think he represents the other extreme, the black
George Washington owned slaves. Thomas Jefferson, he wasn't with David Duke. The founding fathers of the country owned slaves. So what you... And they all had slaves.
And sir, you know,
So what you're witnessing here today is not reverse racism, but it's black people standing up finally against the racists who have their foot on our neck.
Well, let me ask you something, Mr. Muhammad. What do you think about repatriation of black people to the motherland of Africa?
I love repatriation, but I believe that after 400 years of our sweat, blood, and tears being in the soil of America, America was built on the back of the slaves. We worked from can't see morning to can't see night, and we were never paid a penny. So if America were a true and a just nation, as reparations is being discussed with the Japanese, reparations the Germans with the Jews, reparations America with the Indians, but no one wants to discuss reparations to the black man and woman here in America after 400 years of building this country under slave labor. Some of these states should be given to us. Some of the most fertile and minerally rich states. We can't take money from America alone because America's economy is in trouble. Her banks, her savings and loan, IBM, Xerox is in the Clorox. General Motors and others, her airlines are in serious trouble. Her financial center used to be at Wall Wall Street, now it's in Tokyo. She used to be the #1 lender nation of the world. Now America is the #1 debtor nation. God's hand of judgment is stretched out over America. You're not hearing bigotry and hatred on this end. You're hearing finally a love among black people rising up, and among them springing from our minds and our breasts and our chests and our souls. And we believe that as white people will now recognize this, that they will say just what you're saying, because they don't want to see black people stop begging them. We don't believe in welfare. We believe in farewell.
Tim, we'll give you a parting shot here. What do you have to say about that?
I believe there is a voice for the white people. The night of the Ku Klux Klan, I'd like to remind everybody of the rally that's coming May.
Oh, so wait a minute. You're a Ku Klux Klan member?
So are you.
That I am. I'm not
Your hood is hanging in the closet.
Sir, let me tell you something. I repudiate the Ku Klux Klan for what they stand for.
Sean will be at the meeting.
Sean will not be at the meeting. Thank you very much.
He'll have his hood
I look
up.
at it. Well, you're playing cute today. You're having a good time. I think, sir, you're the biggest racist I have ever had on the program. So we think equally the same of each other. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your input. You like
racist means I love my race, and that's what I am.
Okay,
as
so
a violinist, or
as
an
the Ku Klux Klan is a racist organization, so are you. That's good. I'm glad
but
you
I
admit
don't
it.
love my race over another race to oppress another race.
Sir, now
Again,
you're lying.
we don't want to oppress white folks.
Sir, you're a liar.
We just want to rule ourselves.
Okay.
We don't want to rule your people.
All right, we'll move on. We'll check in. Roger from Huntsville, first-time caller. You're live on WVNN in the Sean Hannity program. Good morning.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Good, sir.
Hey, just a couple of comments. I didn't want to ask the good doctor anything, because I've been listening to him, but, you can get a cause and get any people to back you up, that's downtrodden or think they're part of that cause. Now, I'd like to know, and like I say, I don't want to comment or anything, but I wonder what his finances are. I wonder if he'd be willing to make those public,
Well, they certainly have an army of people protecting him here today, and I'm sure somebody's paying for it. How do you survive financially, Mr. Muhammad?
Well, let's let this gentleman finish, and I'll answer both of you.
Well, that was my only question, really. Like I said, I didn't care if you comment or not, because
We
I
just
don't
wanted
think
to
you tell
cast
the truth.
aspersions. He didn't want an answer.
Oh.
But it's just like Jim Baker. He had a lot of followers. And
How many people total? We have about 50.
Jim Baker was white, sir.
So what? He just got a cause. I don't care if he's white, black, blue, or whatever.
All right, thanks
He
so
had a
much.
cause, and he found a cause, and he found a way not to have to work for a living.
What do you think about the comments being made here by Mr. Muhammad? Do they scare you? Do you think he's a racist?
This
What do
man
you
is
think?
not
No,
afraid.
they don't scare me.
Let me ask
This
him.
man is not
Let the man.
afraid.
We let your person answer. Let this man answer
You're
the question.
trying to lead this
Sir,
man.
do you think this person is capable of violence when he talks about this rhetoric
We
against
have
the
no
white
weapons.
race?
We've never had any. There are no. In all of our years in America, we don't carry guns. We don't carry knives. We don't carry weapons. We've never painted anything on any Jewish synagogues. We don't desecrate anyone's graves. We've never attacked any white people. We've never done that. Police agencies in every city say that the Muslims are some of the most model citizens in those cities.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm asking him a question. Do you think he'll probably just whip up the frenzy and distort the minds and the thinking of young African Americans, making them hate the white person? So the point
We
is,
don't want them to hate
so
white
you'll have
people. We
minions.
want them to love black people.
You'll have minions doing your bidding, just like you like to
My
hit.
objective is not
Just
to
like
get black people to hate
You
white
admitted
people.
on this program that you want to hypnotize Carolyn and other
No,
people that call
I
on the
said you
program.
hypnotize people on
No,
here
sir.
every morning, and
Sir.
then I'm hypnotizing you.
I'm not on in the morning. I'm only on Saturday morning. I'm saying what
Whenever
you're doing.
you're on, sir.
Sir, what I'm making the point to you is that what you want to do is you want to
Do
whip
you
up.
want me to answer this gentleman's question?
After I ask you a question, that'll be fine. I'm
We're
saying
going to ignore his question and go to your question.
That's right.
now.
We're going to ignore his question, go to my question. What I'm asking you is, when you distort and whip up this frenzy and hatred and this bigotry towards white people, I'm sure it's in the hopes of having minions hypnotized by you doing your bidding.
I only deal with the history from my teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We make up no history on the white man. His history is written in blood, sir.
Okay, we'll give Roger a parting shot. Roger, you still
cut
there?
me off, or
No,
what?
I did not cut him off.
Right.
Roger, you there?
The only thing I want to say...
I want to answer your question about my funds and finance.
Please, go right
The
ahead.
only thing that bothers me is that the young black that does listen to him will become so much involved in this that he'll lose sight of really what he's got to do to be successful in America.
I think that's true. I think what it does is it whips their minds up into a
I
frenzy.
don't think many young blacks believe they have any future in America.
I know a lot of young blacks, sir, that have a good future. I know a lot of